Now by Kimberly Brown. She's a conflict and humanitarian policy advisor with Save the Children. And you've been in Gaza relatively recently. Just give your impression of what it was like when you were there. There wasn't a conflict going on.
No, it was quite a calm period when I was there earlier this year. But I think it's important to note that even when it's a calm period, Gaza relies on humanitarian aid. Actually, 80% is reliant on humanitarian aid. So what we see now in the situation with the conflict now is it's got much more serious. And with 250 children reported killed, we're extremely concerned.
The children that you met, they will have been through all sorts of things in previous conflicts and obviously a terrific impact and effect on them.
Of course, I mean, a 7-year-old child living in Gaza has gone through three escalations of conflict. And one of our key concerns is actually the psychological impact that is very long-lasting on children. When explosive weapons are used in populated areas, children are killed and injured, schools and hospitals, vital infrastructure is damaged, but the psychological impact is very long-lasting, and that will be an issue for the children in Gaza and also in Israel.
Obviously, it's difficult for people like Save the Children. You're in touch with your people there.
Yeah.
But how do you go about helping such children?
Well, at the moment, Save the Children, we have pre-positioned stocks in Gaza, and we've been working in Gaza for 30 years, so we have been responding to the numerous conflicts that have happened. We're doing our best to get our supplies out on the ground right now.
This is what you're talking about, food and
food,
and
hygiene kits are some of the things that we distribute. We also give psychological support and do analysis with children of how they're doing. So when this conflict finishes, and what we're calling for is a ceasefire, we wanted an immediate and lasting ceasefire, we'll be able to increase our response even more. But the psychological impacts will be something that we'll have to respond to for years to come.
Could you give us an idea of how it does impact on children? What does it do? Most of us, thankfully, have children, grandchildren, whatever, growing up and dealing with the difficulties of life, but minor indeed compared with what these children are suffering.
Well, like I said, when we see the use of explosive weapons in populated areas, children can be very traumatized, impacted. They may be scared of loud sounds, of bangs, even dishes might be something that would really scare them. We've seen in other conflicts as well, children who self-harm, children who stop speaking altogether, children who really retreat into themselves or feel angry. So we see a lot of impacts that come out in their day-to-day life, even after the conflict has ended.
And some of them, as we were just saying, quite a lot of them, I suppose, will have seen their relatives killed, their mother, their father.
Exactly. Yeah, the loss of a loved one and seeing these traumatic events in front of them is very, very difficult. And we, in addition to calling for a ceasefire, we also want to see a lasting long-term solution to this conflict. And that includes lifting of the blockade, because as I mentioned, in Gaza, the situation was already very difficult. And we need a long-term solution that will help to improve the lives of Gazans and Israeli children who are impacted by this conflict as well.
Yes, we must be remembered that rockets being fired and Israeli children are running into shelters. They're having a tough time too. Kimberly Brown from Save the Children, thank you very much.
Thank you.